The 2016 to 2020 Triumph Bonneville T100 T100 Black. Triumph started the Bonneville legacy all the way back in 1959, and it is a name that the factory is still taking to the bank today. The newly repowered Bonneville T100 and T100 Black boast a 900cc mill set in what is more or less a T120 chassis. At 59 horsepower, the T100 plant makes for a newbie-friendly riding experience, while the weight savings around the bike imparts a nimble nature that you don't really feel with the big brother T120. Classic looks abound on the base model, while the Black takes a turn down memory lane to the heyday of garage custom standards with a large dose of blackout treatment for a more sinister look. So, not only do we have a bit of a spread on design, but we also have a balanced machine that can introduce folks to the joys of riding while remaining fun enough to keep experienced riders interested. If that sounds good to you, read on to see what else the T100 family has to offer. Triumph Bonneville T100 design. It's one of the most recognized silhouettes in the motorcycling world, and it just never seems to go out of style. Using a storied name such as Bonneville for a contemporary model line brings with it a certain responsibility to past models, and the factory seems to have nailed it with this pair. Seriously, in the dictionary under British Standard, there should be a picture of one of these. The factory borrowed heavily from the 59 Bonnie while drawing up the T100 and T120s, and why not? It's one of the most recognized silhouettes in the motorcycling world, and it just never seems to go out of style. A good old-fashioned wire wheel finished bright leads the way on the base model, while the Black runs a blackout spoked rim. Both models run a black front fender regardless of tank color to go with the black forks, gaiters and headlight can. Only the chrome mirrors, headlamp bezel, bullet turn signal housings and fender supports set the base apart from the Black in the front-end hardware. Moving aft, the flylines play across the classic fuel tank design that comes complete with the knee pads mounted within the tank indents to make the connection to previous racing glories, and a chrome tank badge. A bench seat finishes the upper lines over the black rear fender, and as you might expect, the base T100 has a bit of bling in back with chrome turn signal housings, but shares a blackout tail lamp housing with its dark soul sibling. Naturally, the rear wheel treatment matches its respective front, but both models run chrome shocks with blackout springs for a little continuity across the board. Whether they did that to keep the Black from losing too many details in all the darkness or just to keep costs down is anybody's guess, but the shocks join the tank badge, fuel cap and throttle body covers as the only bright spots on the machine. No, the highlights reflecting off the painted sheet metal do not really count as bling. On top of all that, the blackout treatment continues into the drivetrain with dark headers and blackout P-shooter silencers to match the blackened engine cases and covers. Yeah, it's a lot, but one should never be too subtle for one's audience, after all. Triumph Bonneville T100 chassis. The light front end makes for an easy feel at the grips and adds some enthusiasm to its cornering behavior. The classic standard shape starts on a time-tested, double downtube, double cradle frame made from tubular steel members, a construction method that continues back into the yoke-style swing arm. A steering stem angle of 25.5 degrees gives us 4.1 inches of trail and a 57.1-inch wheelbase between the 18-inch front.
To read the full article, check the link in the description. If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.